Before entering into actual video, let me just give you an introduction about us. We are Endurance Engineering Academy. We offer online video course for GATE exam preparation. Okay, and also we offer full video course for GATE XC. Okay, so if you are planning for writing XC, you can visit our website for our full video course. This is our website link, and you can see this link in the description also. And you can call us at this number, or you can WhatsApp us. We will be getting back to you with the required if you have any queries, or else you can message your queries to our mail ID support at endranceengacademy.in. Okay, let us proceed for the video. And this video is an extract from our full video course. So let us start our next question series from properties of pure substances chapter. Okay, so GATE XE question series from pure substance properties of pure substance chapter. I'm going to take the first question from GATE 2019 XE question. Very, 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 very good question. So it's a very good question. Okay, so in a steady flow process, superheated steam at 70 bar, okay, and 450 degrees Celsius is throttled to 30 bar in an insulated valve at a rate of 2 kg per second. Okay, so you need to note down all the assumptions properly. See here, they given that it is insulated valve, so which clearly indicates that Q is 0. Okay, and also they said that it is a throttling process. Okay, so initially the pressure was 70 bar and the temperature was 450 degrees Celsius. Okay, so and they clearly mentioned that it is superheated steam, and the properties of superheated steam at 70 bar and 450 degrees Celsius are already mentioned. Okay, so it's mentioned here. Okay, so now we know the data, okay, corresponding to first state, and they said that kinetic energy changes and potential energy changes are neglected. Okay, so it's obvious that Q is 0, kinetic energy changes and potential energy changes are neglected, and we know that in throttling process there is no work done. If under these three assumptions, we clearly know that throttling process H1 will be approximately equal to H2, that is the enthalpy will remain same at the first state and the second state. Okay, so in short we can say that it is an isenthalpic process. Okay, now they are asking under what assumptions? Under the assumption that it is insulated, so Q is 0, kinetic energy changes and potential energy changes are neglected, and we also know that in a throttling process work done is 0. Okay, now they are asking what is the rate of entropy generation during the throttling process, and they said us to round off to 3 decimal places. Okay, now listen carefully. uh, Rate of entropy generation, right? So delta S generation, which is nothing but delta S universe. I hope that you know this, right? Delta S generation, delta S universe are same, and that will be equal to delta S of system plus delta S of surrounding. Okay, and since there is no heat which is interaction happening, so delta S of surrounding will be 0. So there is only delta S of system. Now we know first state. Okay, first state is very simple. Pressure is 70 bar and temperature is 450 bar, sorry, to 450 degrees Celsius, and it is superheated. Okay, so by using these three and the given data, here is the given data, we can clearly say that our specific entropy at the first point, okay, S1, okay, let me write it properly. S1 is going to be 6.6353 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. This is our specific entropy at point 1. But the problem is, second point is not defined properly. They said that pressure is 30 bar. They said that, see here, you could see here, it is the pressure is reducing to 30 bar. Okay, by throttling, the pressure is reducing to 30 bar. But other than this one data, there is no other data which is given in the question. Okay, only pressure reduces to 30 bar, that is what they given. Other than this, no other data was there in the question. So now how to determine this S2, because without knowing S2 specific entropy, I cannot find out the total entropy change of the system. How can I find the total entropy change? Simply M into the difference of specific entropy. In this case, they given mass flow rate, right? Mass flow rate. So if I make it as m dot, then it would become delta s dot, delta s dot, delta s dot. That is entropy rate, okay, rate of entropy changes. And they are asking entropy generation, so it's nothing but rate of entropy generation. Now fine, m dot is known, simple. Okay, m dot is known, simple. S1 is known, but S2 there is no data which is available. They're given a table. You could see table is there. They said that corresponding to 30 bar. Okay, these are the following tables. Okay, so temp when at 30 bar, if the temperature is 400 degrees Celsius, enthalpy is this, entropy is this. At 30 bar, if temperature is 450 degrees Celsius, enthalpy is this, entropy is this. But the problem here is we don't know what is the final temperature. We know what is the final pressure, but we don't know what is the final temperature. Temperature is unknown. Final temperature is unknown. How to determine that? Was there any clue in the question? There is no clue, but there is one thing which is very, very basic and which I feel that all the engineers should do, like all the engineers should know the basic of linear interpolation. See, by using this 400 degrees Celsius data and 450 degrees Celsius data, I can find out entropy S2, specific entropy S2, of course. But how? How to determine that? That is where this comes. Okay, they clearly mentioned that kinetic energy changes, potential energy changes neglected, insulated, so heat transfer is zero, throttling, so work transfer is also zero. So under these conditions, we know the final initial enthalpy and the final enthalpy are same, right? So what actually happened was, we know initial enthalpy. What is initial enthalpy? 3288, right? So H1 is equal to 3288.3 kilojoule per kg. So initial enthalpy is known, and that is nothing but final enthalpy also. Okay, now check the data. Was this enthalpy matching with any of the enthalpy which is given? If you see the first one, enthalpy corresponding to 30 bar and 400 degrees Celsius is 3231.7. Okay, 3231.7. But enthalpy which we need to have at state 2, okay, enthalpy which I need to have at state 2 is 3288. Okay, it's not exactly equal. Okay, so 400 degrees Celsius is not the correct one. Then this entropy is also not our S2. Okay, see, at 450 degree I'm having 334.44.9, and here the actual enthalpy of H2 was 3288. Okay, this is 3288, but the actual one was 3288, but the one which is given corresponding to 450 degrees Celsius is 3344. So surely 450 degrees Celsius is also not our state 2. So clearly what we can say, T2 is not 400 degrees Celsius, it is not 450 degrees Celsius. Okay, by comparing this enthalpy value with the H2 enthalpy, that is the final enthalpy, the enthalpy at state 2. And similarly, we can conclude that in entropies also, these two are not our entropies, right? What I should do? Very simple. We can do basics of linear interpolation, which we did during our temperature scale. When we are using temperature scale, we did this with some small, what is that, small alterations or something like that for finding it. Okay, so what we did there, I hope that you remember. I will take this as our enthalpy. Okay, so H2, okay, is our enthalpy. What I will do, simple. Okay, 3231.7 minus H2, okay, by difference of this two, okay, difference of this two, which is nothing but 3344.9 minus 3231.7, okay, and it should be equal to what? I'm doing linear interpolation. Okay, so corresponding to this enthalpy, my entropy is this, right? So 2.9235 minus, corresponding to this enthalpy, my entropy, specific entropy is S2. Okay, so let me take it as S2. Okay, by now corresponding to this, corresponding to this enthalpy, my entropy is this. So 7.0856 minus, and similarly corresponding to this enthalpy, my entropy was 6.9235. and I already know, okay, I already know H2 is this one, right? So instead of this I can use 3288. Now it becomes very simple for you to find out S2. Is it tough? Is it tough from this equation? Is it tough from this equation? You can easily find out S2 from this by doing a basic linear interpolation, right? So if you just subtract this 2 and subtract this 2 and then bring this term also to left hand side and later on do the rearrangement, it's very easy for you to find out the S2, okay? So you will get 7.0033 as your answer, and what is actually the unit is kilojoule per kg Kelvin, because it is specific, right? Specific entropy, so it is kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Now see, we know mass flow rate, we know S2, we know S1. Okay, what is S1? S1 is already given, right? Simple. S1 is here it is 6.6353, S2 is 7.0033, and m dot is 2. And if you substitute here, simply you will get the entropy generation rate and the value which you are going to get after substituting, right? So that is going to be 0.735, okay? 0.735, and the unit is going to be kilojoule per Kelvin, because I'm finding total entropy generation rate. It's not specific entropy. And the unit, okay, so the range which is given, official range which is given in GATE 2019 was 0.7002 0.750. Okay, so our answer was falling in the range. Okay, so it's a good question. We are learning one new concept of this linear interpolation. Actually, it is not a new concept. We already did the same linear interpolation for finding out the temperature scale in our first what is that, in our first chapter. Okay, the same logic only. Okay, nothing new. So let us continue the next question from GATE 2019 XC. A closed vessel contains a pure substance with 0.1 meter cube of saturated liquid, 0.9 meter cube of saturated vapor. So saturated liquid, so they given VL, okay, so which is 0.1 meter cube. They given total volume, don't forget that. And similarly, they given VV, okay, saturated vapor, which is zero point 0.9 meter cube. Okay, the specific volume of the liquid and vapor. So they given small also, small l, small vl, and small vv also. That is specific volume of liquid and specific volume of the vapor. Okay, so that is given as 0.000843 meter cube per kg, and this is going to be 0.02671 meter cube per kg. Okay, very good. So they given almost all the data. Okay, so total volumes and also specific volumes. And they are asking what is the percentage of vapor in the mixture on the mass basis. Okay, see, very simple. The percentage of mixture means indirectly they are asking what is the dryness fraction or the quality of the steam, that value. So x is going to be equal to mass of vapor by mass of vapor plus mass of liquid, right? This is what the total mass. Okay, mv plus ml is equal to total mass of vapor plus mass of liquid, and I'm finding how much percentage of vapor is there. It's pretty obvious how much vapor is there compared with the total mass. Okay, so that is what they are asking, percentage of vapor means. Okay, so that's going to be equal to, what is mv, we don't know. What is mv and ml, we don't know, but we can determine from the data which is available. Simple, it's very simple logic. uh, Specific volume is nothing but total volume by mass, right? So if I want to find out mass of, from this, if I want to find out mass, it's going to be total volume by specific volume. If I want to find out mass of vapor, then simply take total volume of vapor and divide it with specific volume of vapor. Okay, and similarly, if I want to find out here also mass of vapor only, so total volume of vapor by specific volume of vapor, plus if I want to find out mass of liquid, simply total volume of liquid by specific volume of liquid. Okay, so that's it. The problem is done. It's a very simple question. It's not like the last question which we did, which is somewhat trickier, but this question was simple. Okay, so zero point 0.9 by VV is going to be 0.02671. Okay, sorry, the whole divided by, again it's going to be 0.9 by 0.02671, plus total volume of liquid is going to be 0.1 by specific volume of liquid is going to be 0.00843. Okay, so just once if you solve this, you will be getting the answer. So you will get the answer as 0.2211. Okay, that is going to be my dryness fraction. And now what you will do in urgency, directly you will take that and you will substitute it here. You will just write the answer as 0.2211 and then you will proceed. In fact, it's a numerical NAT type, numerical answer type, so there is no self-checking. If it is MCQ, then there is a possibility for self-checking by with the option, but here there is no possibility for self-checking, right? So what happens? See, the question they asked was percentage, but what actually you found was not in percentage. So the answer which you given is wrong. Okay, so please be double cautious when you are doing numerical answer type question. Okay, superheated steam at 2 bar 300 degrees Celsius with the enthalpy 3072 kilojoule per kg. Okay, so enthalpy is given as 3072.1 kilojoule per kg, enters a horizontal adiabatic nozzle, and they also said about this, right? 2 bar and 300 degrees Celsius. Let me write that. P1 is 2 bar, which is nothing but 200 kilopascal, and temperature is 300 degrees Celsius, which is 573 Kelvin. Okay, and as adiabatic nozzle, so they clearly mentioned that it is adiabatic, so there is no heat transfer. Adiabatic nozzle also. Okay, with a negligible velocity, so this is also clearly indicating the initial velocity. Okay, c1 is 0. They said negligible, so it's almost 0, and leaves with zero point 0.2 bar. Okay, so P2 is equal to 0.2 bar, which is nothing but 20 kilopascal. Okay, I'm just converting it in terms of kilopascal, so that will be easy for us. And it is leaving as a saturated vapor. Okay, it's leaving as a saturated vapor with the enthalpy. Okay, H2 is equal to 2609.9 kilojoule per kg. Okay, assuming steady flow and neglecting the potential energy changes. So they are asking us to neglect the potential energy changes also. So in fact, it's a very good question, very simple question. Okay, H1 plus C1 square by 2G. If I use the steady flow energy equation, in fact, there is no applications of pure substance also here. They already given that it is superheated steam and this is saturated steam, and they directly given the what is that value also. Okay, so simple only, H1 plus C1 square by 2G, sorry, by 2000, because I'm going to use H2 in terms of kilojoule. Okay, so I already talked about this earlier, right? If I use enthalpy in kilojoule. Okay, and they're asking us to neglect the potential energy changes, so let me leave the potential energy changes. Q is equal to H2 plus C2 square by 2000 plus work done in the control volume, and clearly it's adiabatic, so Q is 0, and nozzle doesn't do any work, so this is also 0. They said that negligible velocity, so negligible inlet velocity, so that is also 0. So simply C2 is going to be equal to root of 2000 into H1 minus H2, so that's going to be equal to root of 2000 into H1 is 3072.1 minus 2609.9. Okay, so if I solve this, I will be getting 961.4 meter per second. Okay, so that is our answer here, and the official range for this question is 960, sorry, 961 to 962. Okay, this is the official range.